Cottagecore, is it trendy or timeless? If this is your first time here, my name is Chloe. I'm an interior designer and I split my time between the States and Europe. I love what I do so much that I could sit here and talk about it all day. I share a lot on social media, so I hope that you follow along and enjoy my videos and get a lot of information to create your own timeless space. And if you're renovating or building a new home, I'd love to learn more about your project. I also do one-on-one consultations if that's something of interest to you. So without further ado, let's start talking about cottagecore by first going into what exactly is it. Cottagecore is actually near and dear to my heart because it's more than just lace and florals. I didn't even mean to wear this top while talking about this, but it kind of fits. It's more about slow, intentional living, and that really is the root of Boxwood, which is my company. And so I love talking about this, and I'm really excited later in the video to talk a little bit about how you can infuse this into your home and into your everyday life that really feels authentic and timeless. But cottagecore, I think, really started to gain some resurgence when we started a couple of years ago seeing more traditional design coming back sort of into quote unquote trend. I particularly like traditional design and I love cottagecore because it brings back really beautiful details, kind of like the top I'm wearing, but embroidery, lace, florals, but also that kind of homegrown feel. So think woven baskets from the thrift store or old wood cutting boards, the little details that maybe you would see in like a Nancy Meyers movie, or if you went back to Europe, you'd see these details in old world living or old style homes, rather than on the opposite end of the spectrum, very sleek, contemporary, modern design, which is void of all of those details. So I think it's probably pretty apparent what I personally like. Of course, I can appreciate design style, all different design styles, but cottagecore is really my own kind of personal taste, especially if we're talking French cottagecore. This is just a personal theory, but I think that cottagecore and traditional design really started to come back into style because people were spending so much more time at home during the pandemic that people wanted coziness. They wanted more, less open floor plans. We are seeing floor plans that are more compartmentalized, people really wanting to enjoy their space and really appreciating the details. There are a few key elements to cottagecore, and one of those is really just nature-inspired living. I will talk a little bit about what's the difference between farmhouse and cottagecore, what we're talking about. But first, if you want to infuse some of this into your kitchen or your home, it's something simple like bringing in fresh herbs from the garden or drying herbs and hanging them in your kitchen window, adding those herbs into your water and infusing, making your own homemade teas. That would be very cottagecore-esque. In your living room, adding things like a really chunky knit blanket, wools, linens, lots of texture. But rather than going for neutrals, bringing in some color and some pattern and some print, I think of cottagecore as being a bit more of that English style design. Some of my favorites are Chelsea Textiles. Their embroidery line of fabric is incredible. I love Fermois. I will put a link to some of my favorite textile designers like Liberty of London. That's very cottagecore. So if you want to infuse this into your home in a timeless way, like Liberty of London has been around for forever. It's very timeless. You can also find some of their vintage prints on Etsy, which are incredible. You can bring this in through pillows or in your bedroom rather than going for like white linen sheets, which would be a bit more farmhouse. You can go with a soft floral print, which would skew more cottagecore. We are just going to continue speaking my design love languages. The next element of cottagecore and how you can bring it into your own home is natural finishes. Like I was just talking about linens, wools, texture, and pattern. If you are designing a home and you really want this sort of timeless cottagecore feeling, which is really just about being cozy and welcoming and comfortable, you want to go with natural finishes. This also holds true with farmhouse style, and I think even if you're designing a really modern home, but that's a different video for a different day. But when it comes to cottagecore, you want really warm finishes. So think warm whites if you are going to be painting your walls white, but what would be more cottagecore-esque would be to bring in lots of color. I would choose a Farrow and Ball color or a heritage paint color. I have a full guide actually on my blog if you want to take they have like a free design quiz that you can take, and you can get your recommended white paint colors as well as how to put together the perfect paint palette for your home. And I do have a cottagecore variation of this, so you can check that out if you'd like. You want to go with warm whites, warm paint colors, actual colors. So rather than going neutrals, which would be a bit more farmhouse, going with different patterns, prints, and colors, and then adding in those natural finishes. So if you're designing a kitchen or a bathroom, you want, I would do soapstone, a warm marble, not just like a cooler marble. Don't go for like a sleek white tile. Instead, something that has a bit of character, something that's handmade. Maybe there's a floral print tile, or adding in lampshades that have a print to them. So it's really about adding in those details, and then materials that are going to patina over time, like wood countertops. A great source of inspiration would be Duval kitchens. You can see how they do colored cabinetry and then wood countertops. You really want something that's going to not only stand the test of time, but patina over that time period. Another element of cottagecore is really focusing on the handmade and imperfect. Perfectly imperfect is one of my favorite taglines, and this is great because you'll find the best things come from flea markets, antique fairs, or even Etsy. I think if I was putting together a cottagecore room, I would be looking at all of these places for really beautiful quilts with really pretty patterns, vintage rugs, layering in different elements and creating a really beautiful color palette that had a variation of stripes, florals, botanicals, and really beautiful, unique artwork. Those are simple ways that you can bring cottagecore into your home, and I wanted to actually touch on the topic of this video, which is it trendy or timeless? I personally believe cottagecore is a very timeless design style, but you want to be careful because any time something comes back into style, it slowly starts to get watered down. Think of that scene from The Devil Wears Prada where she's talking about cerulean blue. At first, there's the authentic cottagecore, there's the authentic style, right? And then inevitably things start to get watered down. This happens with pretty much everything, be it fashion or trends and styles. And so you want to always opt for the more timeless version of a trend. This doesn't necessarily mean you have to spend more money. It's just rather than buying something from a big box store that's made to look like it's cottagecore or made to look like it's old, go for the real thing. And that's why in a lot of my videos, I talk about sourcing from Etsy or going to flea markets, finding vintage Liberty of London fabric rather than going to a store that's recreating these things to look like something they're not, because inevitably it's not going to look authentic, and that's when things start to feel more trendy than timeless. As I made this video, I wasn't actually going to talk about this, but I do think it's important, and I touched on it a little bit earlier, is the difference between farmhouse style and cottagecore style, because there is a lot of overlap and they are pretty similar. When we're talking about farmhouse style, we think really beautiful wood tones, a lot of white oak, very primitive style, whereas cottagecore is a little bit more layered, a little bit more elegant, and it has more detail to it than a typical farmhouse style would. Farmhouse has more neutrals, whereas cottagecore is going to be more colors, prints, a mixture of patterns, and farmhouse is pretty straightforward. The best way you could think about it is farmhouse has more of, like I said, streamlined, primitive, like shaker cabinets, and cottagecore is going to have more of like raised panels and details that you wouldn't typically see in a more farmhouse style home. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that one of the things that I really talk a lot about is honoring the architecture of a home. So if your home is mid-century modern, I wouldn't recommend implementing cottagecore style into your home. Rather, stay true to the architecture of your home. I still believe you should be sourcing authentic materials, going to Etsy or flea markets, but leaning more towards mid-century if your architecture is a more mid-century style. If you have a home that could kind of go any direction and you want to infuse cottagecore, I say go for it, but like I said, go for the real deal rather than going for the trendy styles that you're going to see at the big box stores. At the end of the day, I believe your home should be a reflection of you. It should really be what you love. But I do hope that you found this video really helpful if you're thinking about implementing some of this style into your home. Like I mentioned, I have a free design style quiz on my blog. I will put a link below. You can take that. It takes less than 2 minutes. It's really fun. And then I have tons of different paint guides and design guides on my blog. I'll throw some links below. Be sure to check out my other videos. And if you don't follow along on social media, I share behind the scenes and design tips daily.